So, video games. Hell, we'll be talking about the worst video game series of all time. You would think it's like Call of Duty or Fortnite or even Doki Doki Literature or even the cancer known as fnaf. Well, I'll be telling you one game series that has zero good games. Well, there are many game franchises that have zero good games. What about a game franchise where every single game in the franchise sucks? Well, this is a series known as Bubsy. Bubsy is quite possibly the worst series of all time. Hopefully there won't be any more Bubsy games. The last game came out last year because for some reason some smart person said, hey, does everybody remember Bubsy? Let's bring him back. Said no one ever. It's basically a top 5 series of rivals that nobody asked for, and Bubsy will be straight at number 1. We'll be going over his games. So, the first Bubsy game is basically, a platforming game in the style of Sonic and Mario. The game was actually received well. Was actually received quite well for some reason. But the more people realized that Sonic and Mario was much better, they realized that Bubsy was a pile of crap. Bubsy was an annoying character. He was an annoying character that wouldn't shut up. His voice lines are annoying. He died by gumball machines. The controls were not that great compared to Sonic and Mario. And yeah, Bubsy for the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis was, Bubsy. And yeah, 66% of people liked this video game. And again, at the beginning, critics actually liked this game. Next is Bubsy 2, the sequel that nobody wanted. But since the first game sold so well, guess what? Garbage got a sequel. It's kind of like giving, FNAF... FNAF has 20 games basically already. But Bubsy 2 was the sequel to the, hit video game that was so terrible called Bubsy 1. Apparently enough people bought Bubsy 1 to give a Bubsy 2. Why did we need a Bubsy 2? So Bubsy 2 is basically more of the same garbage as Bubsy 1. The story is garbage, the characters are garbage, and there's really nothing good about Bubsy 2. Kind of like the third game and of course there was also a third Bubsy game called Bubsy Fractured and Fairy Tales. But considering that game only came out on one console that nobody played, called the Atari Jaguar, considered one of the worst consoles of all time, thankfully no one has to ever play this game. And yes, Jaguar never played a Jaguar game, so yep, thank God I was exempt from Bubsy in the third Fractured Tales. But considering the other two games suck, won't be surprised that this game was just as bad as the other two Bubsy games. Then we have the infamous game in the franchise, Bubsy 3D. Oh yes, Bubsy 3D, considered one of the worst games of all time. I already made a rant about this game already. Bubsy 3D has horrible graphics, awful voice acting, but again, Bubsy's so annoying that he sucks in all 3 games. But look at these graphics, okay? When you say a modern game has bad graphics, let's look at Bubsy 3D. You'll be puking at the sight of Bubsy 3D's awful graphics. And there'll be those two people who'll be saying, but it's in the 90s. But this doesn't need the excuse for graphics like this. This looks like an unfinished game. It doesn't look like a complete game, okay? Look at Mario 64. There's no missing textures everywhere. And of course, the storyline is basically the Woolies want to take over the world, which is the signature villain of Bubsy. Villains of Bubsy, the most forgettable villains of all time. The only reason why I remember the names are called Woolies is because the next game in the franchise is really called Bubsy the Woolies Strike Back. But yep, Bubsy, thankfully, went into dormancy. We're in the dormancy until 2017. Yep, until he came back. You gotta be kidding me. So, who in the right mind was saying, okay, you know what? Doki Doki Literature Club, one of the worst games of the year. You know what? Let's top Doki Doki Literature Club. Let's bring back Bubsy. Oh, yes. The same year that gave us Breath of the Wild and Red Dead Redemption Red Dead Redemption came out in 2018, not 2017. I'm sorry. So I get to set myself. So yeah, Breath of the Wild came out, and Mario Odyssey came out. So what were the geniuses at Black Board's game saying? What we needed? Oh yes, another Bubsy game. This came out on the PS4 and Microsoft Windows. Yep. And yeah, this is considered to be the worst PS4 game, besides The Last of Us Part 2 and Fallout 76. Bubsy the Warrior Strike Back brought the really horrible characters of the Bubsy franchise, the annoying voices, and yeah, this game has a horrible story and has horrible characters. It is considered one of the worst games of all time, and especially the worst game on the PS4, besides Fallout 76, which also was on the same platform. Bubsy the Warrior Strike Back was nothing good. The story sucked. The voices, Bubsy was as annoying as ever. And yes, let's not forget that Bubsy is one of the worst characters in all of fiction, even worse than Zelda Binks. Yep, Zelda Binks is less annoying than this goddamn Bobcat. The villains are uninteresting. There are these things called worries. Yep. And yep, now we're going to the last franchise in the series, game in the series, Bubsy Paws on Fire. Yep, what we really needed, a rip-off of So Bubsy Paws on Fire is basically another one of those games that nobody played. Bubsy Paws on Fire brought back the horrible, annoying Bubsy cast, so they can Subway surf around in the Bubsy world. Yep, this game is basically like Subway Surfers and Temple Run and all those 2D auto-scrolling games. It really isn't anything special. So, and yeah, it does retain the annoyingness of Bubsy and the awfulness of the Bubsy franchise. So, yep, we went over the worst video game franchise of all time. What did we learn from this? Bubsy absolutely sucks. His franchise first stayed in the garbage in 1996 and never came back. I won't be surprised next year he had a 2021 release of Bubsy. Wouldn't be surprised because people really want more Bubsy games, don't we? Nope, no one wants more Bubsy games because Bubsy sucks. Worst game franchise of all time. Bubsy is awarded that as well. Maybe except for FIFA, which is made by EA, EA Sports sucks. So, yep, Bubsy's the worst game franchise of all time. Of all time. So, yep, that's basically it. Goodbye.